Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. Today I want to show you how I use layer masks and different new brushes on Adobe Fresco app. Adobe Fresco is a relatively new app for drawing on the iPad. I've been using it for about a month and I really love all the new features that it offers. The brushes on Adobe Fresco are very realistic. When you use them, it's almost the same as using real brushes. And I really prefer working on Adobe Fresco or an iPad to working on traditional media for all my illustration commissions, simply because it takes much less time. You can make the edits really easily. It takes the stress out of your work because you know that if you make a mistake, you don't have to redo it all from scratch. And also you save money on buying art materials, which can be quite expensive. And it's still just really fun way to spend your time. I'm actually working on some Christmas card designs because Christmas is coming. It's November and Christmas time is a great time for artists and illustrators to sell or gift their homemade Christmas cards. The really great thing about Adobe Fresco is that you can actually choose the canvas size. So it's totally fine for printed medium. It's great for if you're doing work for books or you want to print something out, and it gives you unlimited amount of layers as well, which is really nice. So a good place to start with your illustration is to choose a color palette first. And I have already chosen a color palette that I like for my Christmas cards. And now first I'm going to show you just a few of the brushes available on Adobe Fresco. You have three types of brushes, which is pixel brushes, live brushes and vector brushes. And I'm not going to show you any of the vector brushes today, but I'm just going to concentrate on live brushes, which are really lovely. You get oil and watercolor brushes here. And also I'm going to show you some of the pixel brushes, and these are the brushes I use to add some of the details. As you can see on this drawing, I have a mix of pixel and live brushes here, and the pixel brushes I use to create a pattern. So with oil brushes, I was actually quite skeptical about them at first, because I think that sometimes digital oil brushes kind of don't look really cool. They look a little bit weird. So I wasn't kind of really looking forward to using them. But I have to say that I really enjoy using the oil brushes in Fresco. I hope that you can see the texture, but it's really nice, it's really fun. And also, when you want to mix different colors together, it does it in a very natural way. So it's actually acting like a real oil paint, just by the way it mixes together and it spreads. It makes the whole experience of drawing much more enjoyable. And when I'm doing my illustrations, I think that an illustration shouldn't be super precise. It should have some of a human element to it, because you know, we have lots of tools these days to make your illustration completely perfect and for everything to be kind of really straight, but then for me, I think it loses a bit of the human touch. So I like when the illustration looks a little bit imperfect. I think that's nicer and just the style that I prefer. If you are an artist or an illustrator and you're thinking about switching to iPad Pro or trying iPad Pro out, I have actually written a blog post about all the pros and cons of using an iPad as a drawing tablet. And it's on my blog. I'll put a link just up here, and you're welcome to go and check it out. It's a very comprehensive analysis of all the apps that are available, apps that I personally used, and why I find working on an iPad so convenient for me as an illustrator. So I'm gonna show you how to make a layer mask now, which is a really cool tool. You click on the layer and then you need to choose mask layer contents. And you will see that you now have this black and white image over here. And if you swipe left, then all the edits that you make will go to your layer, and if you swipe right, then you can actually edit the mask. But what it means is that now if I choose to draw on this layer, do you see what's happening now? So now when you're adding different brush, it only applies to this shape that I have already created. And I think this is really cool. I'm really excited about this. And again, like, you know, you can add different textures if you want to, but you can draw and it wouldn't go outside the edges of this shape, which is so super helpful. Okay, and now I will use the layer mask to create a pattern on top of this bubble with a different brush. We click on the layer with the mask and make sure that it's on the mask black and white layer, and then you just press copy mask, and then you click on the new layer and just paste mask. It says layer mask created, you press done, and you see that now you have this mask again, the same kind of mask. So make sure you're on the right layer, and then you see that when I'm drawing, the pattern is not going out of the edges of this shape, which I think is really useful. Adobe Fresco has loads and loads of different brushes, and I think it's just fun to try and experiment with as many of them as you like, and you can find the ones that are your favorites. And then it's very easy to save the brushes you love in your favorites folder, and then they're very easy to access from there. And I actually really love working with textures, and I like the illustration to have loads of different textures. So, you know, you can add as many of these layers as you like, and you can layer and create some really interesting effects. This is all for today, and I hope that you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel, because next week I'm going to be showing you how to do lettering. It's going to be part 2 of making the Christmas cards video. I'm going to be showing you lettering and how to use Adobe Fresco to put the final card design together. And also I'll show you how easily it is to connect it to Photoshop and finish your designs on Photoshop if you want to. And I'll hope to see you next week in part 2 of this video.